Well, good morning. If we start any earlier, I'm going to need to get night vision on this camera. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so it's an early morning start here. Let me flip some lights on the subject. That's better. Oh, I got a lot to do, so I'm starting early. I started a project yesterday that we're going to pick up on here first thing. Then I got to get out on the tree farm as soon as it gets light out and get some work done there. That's what we're working on. Big old pile of poplar. Kind of burning the candle on both ends right now. I have a lot of stuff on the tree farm that has to get done pretty much in the next week. But I also took 2 big poplar orders. So what are you gonna do? You just put in the hours and get it done. It actually works out good in a way because I'm batching this stuff. Excuse me. A little bit raspy in the morning. I did have my coffee though. This stuff, what I'm actually making, what I'm primarily working on now is 4-inch V-groove poplar paneling. Can't talk in the morning either. Tongue and groove paneling for a ceiling, but along with that, I'm pre-ripping some 3-inch molding for a big molding order I got coming up. So I kind of, whenever I can batch orders like this, I like to do it because basically I had all this random width poplar and I sorted through it. And like obviously a piece here, I'll get 2 4-inch strips or I'll get 4s and 3s, and it helps me yield the best with the lumber without doing a bunch of extra steps. I can just go through a stack and make it work out. So I tucked that stuff under the roof last night when I quit, because there was a chance of a rain shower that we did not get, probably because I put it under the roof. Guarantee if I would have let it sit out, it would have rained. So let me pull that out and we'll get to ripping here. What a difference an hour makes. Birds are chirping, sun's coming up over the horizon. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Just about done. I got a little bit to do later on. We're getting a real nice stack of poplar there. There's not a knot in that entire stack. That's gonna make some beautiful stuff. Time for me to move on to my second job. And I think I gotta lose this sweatshirt already. It's gonna be pretty warm out. We're fixing for a real nice 75-degree day here. This is my chariot for the day, my custom 2-row sprayer I built a few years ago. I actually have a whole video about that on the channel, but I have to do a little maintenance before we get going. I already have the tank mixed from yesterday. I have some, you can see it kind of sloshing around in there, so I don't have to mix anything this morning. But one thing I do have to do is lubricate these extensions. I got myself in a real pickle yesterday. I was going on the side of a hillside in some bigger trees, and I hit a groundhog hole. Groundhog holes are public enemy number one. Or I guess I should say groundhogs are public enemy number one on a Christmas tree farm. They cause us so much problems and destruction. And what happened, the tractor kind of dropped in the hole. This dropped down, got hooked on a tree, bent this arm backwards. What a mess. It kind of twisted this whole thing and put a kink in it that it wouldn't telescope in all the way. Well, then I was in a bind because with this thing out, I'm like 10 foot wide and can't really go down the road like that. So I had to come over here to the wagon, get a little creative. I hooked the arm on here and backed up real slow, and well, eventually was able to get it straightened out enough that it telescoped in. But yeah, that wasn't fun. You can imagine a few choice words were said. So I got this enough that it goes in and out. It gets a little tight. I can hear the actuator kind of works pretty hard. So I usually lube this up. So I'm just gonna throw some lube on there, hopefully make things work a little bit smoother this morning. But it does seem to be working again. I actually, over the winter here, just extended this another foot. I raised the whole thing up, welded extensions on. I can clear up to 7-foot trees, which is basically all I need for this rig. So I'm spraying pre-emergent herbicide. That's just a fancy term for a herbicide that kills the weeds before they grow. So we have pretty nice, clean rows right now. We try to keep it that way. The best weed prevention is to kill the weed before it's established. So I'm putting down a layer of spray that when the seed germinates, it kills it. So this isn't really a contact spray, but it's a preventative measure. So I'm gonna get fired up here and gonna head out into the field. Well, we're back over at my shop, not by plan. We got a problem, kind of a big problem. I'm gonna show you that in a second. You guys are gonna think I script these videos. I swear I don't. If I was gonna script videos, I would not make my life so difficult. First thing I gotta do is get this old pile out of here so we can get the other one in and work. This is why we can't have nice things. Leaking oil all over my shop floor that I just scrubbed last week. Oh. So here's the predicament I find myself in. I had the booms folded up. I was going through some real big trees, which is always a bear because they reach out and try to grab stuff. So I got the wheel guards on the back of the tractor and the branch lifters on the front to kind of streamline as we squeeze between the big trees. This is something that has concerned me for a long time with this sprayer, and we've been running this sprayer honestly probably 20 years, this tank, and have never had the problem. But I've always thought, what's going to happen the day when this happens? And well, by dumb luck, the day I'm filming is the day it happens. Branch caught this the right way, tore this hose, pulled this fitting out, and now we got a leak in the bottom of the tank. This is one piece like bonded into the tank. Not quite sure how I'm going to tackle this situation. Start by taking it apart and seeing exactly what the damage is. This is my agitator line. that circulates water and stirs it up, the spray mix, so it doesn't settle out. So it's kind of important. And what's more important is that I'm not going down the road dripping chemical everywhere. So let me take it apart and see what we're looking at. That's our problem right there. Crack that thing, spread it wide open. So I pulled out my manual on how to repair such an issue. No, there's no manual on this deal. I'm spitballing here. Every day is a new challenge. You never know what you're going to get yourself into. So I have formulated a half-baked plan kind of in my head here. I'm going to take the trusty old JB Weld, which if you don't have JB Weld in your toolbox, you're missing out for these bush fixes, or you're just a better mechanic than me and fix things the right way. But we're fixing this the JB Weld way, or at least we're going to try. So I'm going to mix up some JB Weld. I'm going to take this hose clamp, I'll put it on there, I'm going to try to draw that tight. We're going to let that dry. Then we're going to take our black fitting, which is still nothing wrong with that. That survived. We're going to put thread tape on it. Going to put that on. We're going to see where we're at with that. Maybe try it like that. Then, if that doesn't work, we're going to resort to the good old seal-all. Another thing you should have in your toolbox. This stuff's pretty amazing. I've used it to seal gas tanks and all kinds of stuff. This I'm fairly certain will work. My only concern with this is once I slather this all over that black fitting, may not get the black fitting back out if I ever have to. But at this point, I'm trying to get this thing up and running. So this is the plan I'm going with. Let's mix up some JB Weld. So if you're not familiar, the JB Weld's pretty simple. Equal parts of the black and the white. I always do it on an old piece of cardboard. And yes, I pretty much always do it with a stick I find on the ground. You just mix it up till it's gray. Always want to wear gloves. You don't want to get this stuff on you. All it really is, honestly, is a pretty heavy-duty epoxy. All right. Now I'm just gonna use my finger. Typically how I find to be the best way. Yeah, it should work pretty nice. I don't want to use too much and squeeze it inside those threads and make myself a mess. That's my biggest concern, is getting that black piece threaded back in there. By golly, that looks like it's going to work. What do you know? Could you guys see that? Was I just talking to myself and you couldn't see that at all? Sorry. I drew that right in. Had a little bit of squeeze out of JB Weld there. That's okay. It just helps seal. I'm already changing my master plan though. I'm going to put this in right away because I'm afraid if I let that dry and it doesn't go in, well, then we're out of luck. So if I have to make any adjustments, I'll do that before the JB Weld dries. Let me work on that a second. Oh yeah, nothing to it. So I think I got a winner here. That went in real nice. While I was at it, I rerouted this hose. If you remember, when I brought it in here, it came along the outside of the tank and made a loop. That's the way we've always had it forever. I figure running it up, under, through the frame is a lot more streamlined. Stuff should pass through it a little bit easier. I thought about making a guard for this, but there's just no easy way to do it. It seems like it'd take a tremendous amount of effort and might just smash anyway, so we're gonna run with this for a while. The good news is it went together real nice. I'm 95% sure that's not going to leak. Bad news is I won't know till tomorrow morning. So this kind of throws a wrench in my plans here for the day. But plans are a very loose term around here. You got to kind of roll with the punches. So luckily, right outside here is that big stack of poplar I was working on. So I'm going to go eat lunch and get back on that. Well, this stuff's coming along pretty nicely. Boy, I'm happy with that. That's some nice Poplar Vgroove. Don't mind the mess in my shop. I'm not even gonna pan around and show you. There's been no time to clean around here. That's an afterthought. I'll get to it at some point. But for right now, I just gotta get this stuff done. It's a pretty good start. I wasn't expecting to get this afternoon. Got a couple hundred pieces to go. I guess you know where I'll be at 5:30 tomorrow morning. But right now we got one more thing to do before we wrap it up for the day. So you guys know that saying, curiosity killed the cat. I gotta know. Curiosity's got the best of me. I gotta know if this thing's gonna hold or not. It's been sitting about 2 hours. I think it should work. So let's put some water in it, see what happens. The moment of truth. I know you guys probably think I'm nuts and have no patience. Definitely right on the having no patience. But my theory is this. The JB well doesn't actually contact the water because it's on the outside. And I left this hose clamp on. That's going to stay there permanently for reinforcement. So I figure what's the worst that could go wrong? It leaks. At least I know I can ponder it overnight and attack it in the morning. But I figured it's, you know, worth a shot. So far, so good. Got about 5 gallons in there. We're drip free. Bone dry. Certainly won't complain about that. I mixed up a tank there. I'm gonna go out and spray a little bit more to end the day. But this is where I'm leaving you guys. So hope you enjoyed this totally random, mixed up video. A little bit of lumber, a little bit of tree farm, a little bit of breakdowns. Just a typical day. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.